Welcome to the FI Newscast, where we bring you relevant news in the food and beverage industry. Today is Friday, October 6th, 2023. I'm Susan Choi, your host for the show. Today, we're going to feature an interview from the 𝗟𝗂𝘁 𝗀𝗃𝗀 Food and Beverage Trade Expo. We got to chat with Antonio Escalona, Senior VP and General Manager of the Hispanic Business Unit of PepsiCo. It was an insightful conversation. But first, let's cover some of the top stories from this week so far. We start this week with a focus on employment. Private companies added 89,000 jobs in September, representing the slowest rate of growth since January 2021, when employers actually shed jobs. The leisure and hospitality sector saw job growth with 92,000 positions added. Meanwhile, new data from the Department of Labor indicates the food service industry will need to add 2.6 million jobs per year through 2032. The agency noted the job openings will come from new positions and existing ones being vacated. Hiring for back-of-house jobs is expected to be particularly brisk, with demand for restaurant cooks expected to increase 20.4% by 2023. As the economy continues to wane, so does consumers' wallets. A recent payment survey shows that of the 60% of consumers who use payment installment plans, 34% of that group uses that plan to pay for groceries. Between measures to cut SNAP benefits to the resumption of student loan repayments, shoppers are feeling the pinch. The survey listed a host of other areas where installment payment plans were being used more often, and groceries came in second only to clothing and accessories. Over in food tech, the innovations keep on coming across the globe. Brazilian meatpacker JBS SA is investing big time into lab-grown meat. It's begun construction on what they are calling the Biotech Innovation Center. It cost $62 million to build and is expected to be completed next year. Meanwhile, scientists at the University of Trento in Italy are working on a way to cultivate chicken meat from the feathers of chicks. Several first-phase tests have already been carried out so far on this project, having achieved optimal conditions for getting and maintaining chicken cells. And in New Zealand, scientists are working on a way to create lab-grown fruit from discarded parts such as apple cores and orange peels. This could certainly change the fruit industry, which has been recently plagued with bad harvests due to unexpected weather patterns. Companies continue to invest more into AI technology, and Uber is no different. The ride-sharing company's freight unit, Uber Technologies, Inc., has unveiled something called Insights AI. The system will allow users to request data that would normally take days to compile. It can compute figures like shipping routes with the worst performance times and its causes, and can also estimate arrival times more precisely. These new developments have come since Uber's $2.25 billion buyout of freight manager Transplace in 2021 and a $120 million investment to upgrade its data systems. And finally, Kroger is tapping into the growing Hispanic market in the U.S. The company recently unveiled Mercado. It's a Hispanic-inspired store brand, which goes under Kroger's Our Brands family. The new line will sell more than 50 items across several item groups, such as queso fresco, ready-to-cook flour tortillas, pre-cooked white cornmeal, chicharrones pork crackling strips, and more. With the Hispanic market representing $1.9 trillion in buying power this year, and with private brands' share of grocery growth in double digits over the past few years, this announcement seems like a fitting move for the grocery giant. And those are your top stories. I'd like to get into our next segment, which takes us to the 𝗟𝗂𝘁 𝗀𝗃𝗀 Food and Beverage Trade Expo. It took place in Dallas, Texas, and FI's very own Brian Choi got a chance to talk to Antonio Escalona, Senior VP and General Manager of the Hispanic Business Unit from PepsiCo. They discussed the impact of Latin American culture in America's food and beverage industry today and how PepsiCo is strategizing to make the most out of this exploding market. Let's take a look.
All right, this is Brian Choi, Managing Partner and CEO of the Food Institute. We're here in Dallas, Texas at 𝗟𝗂𝘁 𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗀. I'm here with Antonio Escalona, right? So you are the SVP, General Manager of PepsiCo Foods North America. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I run this business unit called the Hispanic Business Unit within PepsiCo Foods North America, and our entire focus is to accelerate our growth with the Hispanic consumer. You know, one of the fastest growing parts of the economy in this country, so we're very excited about this business.
Wow. So why Latin America? Why the Hispanic consumer right now?
Well, right now, as I mentioned, is one of the fastest growing parts of the economy. We're talking about more than 62 million people, Latinos, living in the U.S., growing, 50% of the population growth in the past 10 years comes from the Latino, population. It represents about 3.2 trillion. Today we just heard, the latest figure I heard is 3.2 trillion economy. If you were to consider a separate economy, it will be the 5th largest in the world. So it's a massive economy, about 1.9 trillion of consumption. So lots of growth, a younger, cohort, about 12 years younger than a non-Latino white, multi-generational households, bigger, larger households. So lots of growth opportunity for the country, for businesses, as they cater to the needs of that consumer.
Wow. So I want to talk about flavors. So that's one of the unique aspects of Hispanic food. So tell us a little bit about some of the flavors that you're seeing here at PepsiCo Foods and its products here.
Well, a lot of what we're seeing in terms of growth in the past several years, and it's been accelerating recently, is what we call the intense flavor portfolio. So intense flavor means, spicy, tangy, so things like, our Flaming Hot portfolio that runs across many of our brands. Cheetos Flaming Hot, one of the most popular, Chester fries, Dinamita, a product from Latin America. Anything you see with this smiley face is called Oscar. That guy here is Oscar, is present across our Latin American portfolio, across from Mexico to Argentina. So any products in the US with this face, it means it's probably, origins are from Latin America. So Doritos Dinamita, Chile Limon. So all these flavors here are intense flavors. This is one of the fastest growing parts of the salty snack business. But things are also, they're also growing is this. Excuse me?
Absolutely.
So plantain chips. So you have nacho chips. This is our, the Latin America favorite plantain chip brand. It's called Nacho Chips. It's present in many of the countries in South America, Central America, and the Caribbean. So we brought it to the US only 2 years ago. We started in Florida. We're now expanded to the Northeast, and we're going to expand to the rest of the country. So, and why plantain chips? Because even though 62 million Latinos, 60% of them Mexican American, the rest are from other countries in Latin America that love plantain chips, like Colombia, Venezuela, Peru, Ecuador, Central America. So for these consumers, we noticed that plantain chips are growing a lot, and we launched these. So this is another example of the flavors of Latin America that are present. And if I take you around quickly, I also show you, another flavor from Latin America. Of course, Florentinas. This is our cookie brand. The leading brand in Mexico is called 𝗟𝗲𝘁. We're the leaders in cookies and crackers in Mexico, and we have it in the US. And this is Florentina's dulce de leche, or cajeta. Dulce de leche is a very famous and very popular flavor across Latin America. Different names in different countries: arequipa in Colombia, manjar blanco in Peru, and cajeta in Mexico. So again, just another example, but many more examples of the things that we're bringing from Latin America.
Yeah, so one of the questions that I have for you, Antonio, is, you mentioned the Hispanic demographic. What about the non-Hispanic demographic? Are they also trying the product and liking the product?
They are embracing these products because these products are not just for Hispanics. Anybody who likes, adventurous food, that loves eating, loves trying new things. In fact, a lot of the growth that we're seeing in these brands, the intense flavors, is coming from non-Hispanics. So we're seeing these flavors grow literally in every part of the country. And places where you have a lot of Hispanics and places where you don't have a lot of Hispanics, because Hispanics are, telling their friends, hey, you should try my, these products, and they love it, and they buy them, and they keep buying them. So yeah, of course they are popular with Hispanics, but also very popular with non-Hispanics as well.
I love the innovation, I love the flavor profile. My last question for you, Antonio. You guys recently partnered to create the Junto Crecemos, right?
Yes.
And so that was, as I was reading the press release, to see all the, the companies part of the program. Why is PepsiCo investing into that program?
Well, the reason why we created this initiative, especially in the middle of the pandemic, we noticed a lot of the small businesses were closing, were having challenges. Latino-owned small business is one of the fastest parts, growing part of the economy, but they're way underrepresented. Only 6% of businesses in the US are Hispanic-owned. So we noticed there was an opportunity to support, to help, by providing grants, by providing mentorship, by providing assistance and resources, to close that gap, to help these businesses that are underrepresented and sometimes don't have access to capital, to resources, provide them with the assistance and the support to grow, including the tools to grow through, for example, our Hispanic Digital Delivery, which is a program that we have as part of the Junto Crecemos that gives them tools to compete online, to access the internet and to compete digitally in a very effective way.
Yeah, I love it. I love giving back to the community, supporting the community and the founders. So Antonio Escalona, SVP General Manager of the Hispanic Business Unit of PepsiCo Foods North America. Thank you so much for spending time with the Food Institute.
It's our pleasure. Thank you.
All right.
That was Antonio Escalona, Senior VP of the Hispanic Business Unit of PepsiCo, speaking with FI CEO and Managing Partner Brian Choi. Our thanks to them both for that great interview. You can catch more great content from this show on our 𝗂𝗂𝘁 𝗂𝗶𝗹𝗃 live stream. You can check it out on our YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn channels. Before we go, we're going to take a look at what's coming up in the food industry in the coming days. On October 11th, the Bureau of Labor Statistics comes out with the Producer Price Index for September. On October 12th, the BLS releases the Consumer Price Index for the same month, and also on the 12th, real earnings numbers are released as well. And that's our show. Thanks so much for watching. I want to remind you to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our social media channels. The support really makes a difference for us. Thanks again for watching. Have a great weekend and take care.